Why do you think some truths are hidden from married people? Is it because the information is dangerous, or because it reveals uncomfortable realities that could change how they see their relationship forever? Drop your answer in the comments, because this question alone might open your eyes to something you've never considered before. Marriage is often seen as the ultimate commitment, a sacred bond built on trust and love. But there are truths about attraction, psychology, and power dynamics that rarely get spoken about inside that bond. Why? Because once you see them, you can't unsee them, and it may challenge the way you view your partner or even yourself. In this video, we'll explore the uncomfortable but necessary insights that make this topic so controversial. From the hidden signals in attraction to the unspoken tests that occur in long-term relationships, these lessons will show you why some knowledge feels like a threat to the stability of marriage. Not because it's false, but because it's powerful. And if you're bold enough to stay with me until the end, write seductive wisdom in the comments. That way, I'll know you're one of the few people willing to face truths others prefer to keep buried. Attraction is often misunderstood in the context of marriage. Many assume that once two people commit, attraction will automatically last forever. But psychology tells us that attraction is not a permanent state. It's a dynamic force that needs to be nurtured. The hidden truth is that what creates attraction in the beginning is rarely what sustains it years later. If ignored, this truth silently erodes the bond between husband and wife. Psychologists highlight the principle of novelty. In the early stages of love, everything feels exciting because it's new. Over time, familiarity replaces novelty, and the couple begins to confuse comfort with passion. A woman who was once captivated by her husband's mystery might feel his predictability, while a man who admired her spontaneity might begin to see it as chaos. Neither has changed. The perception has, and this shift quietly shapes attraction. Consider a real-life example. A husband who used to pursue his wife with energy and attention gradually stops, assuming marriage means the work is done. His wife begins to feel invisible, and he interprets her withdrawal as coldness. The cycle continues until attraction weakens on both sides. The truth is not that love died, it's that effort stopped. Machiavelli observed that power is maintained not by one grand act, but by consistent small displays of strength and control. In marriage, attraction works the same way. It isn't a single gesture that keeps desire alive. It's the continuous demonstration of confidence, attentiveness, and growth. Without these, the relationship slips into routine, and routine kills excitement. Another hidden truth is that attraction is tied to respect. Many men believe providing materially is enough, but if they lose their composure, discipline, or ambition, respect fades, and with it, desire. Similarly, when a woman neglects her own self-respect or growth, she becomes dependent rather than inspiring. Marriage thrives when both partners continue to embody the qualities that first drew them together. From a psychological perspective, attraction also requires distance. Too much closeness without individuality suffocates desire. A husband and wife who share everything but stop cultivating their own lives risk losing the spark that comes from seeing each other as unique individuals. Paradoxically, healthy space often fuels attraction more than constant proximity. So here's the reflection. Are you maintaining the traits that once made you attractive, or have you let routine replace effort? Share your thoughts in the comments, because understanding this hidden truth could be the difference between a marriage that fades and one that thrives. Every marriage begins with passion, promises, and the belief that love will carry both partners through anything. But over time, life introduces challenges, financial struggles, family pressures, personal insecurities, and love is tested. Many couples mistake these tests as signs that the relationship is failing. In reality, psychology teaches us that testing is an inevitable part of long-term love. It reveals whether the bond is built on genuine commitment or temporary emotion. Think of it like this. When a woman challenges her husband with frustration or questions his decisions, it's not always disrespect. Often, it's a subconscious way of testing his strength and stability. Female psychology calls this security testing. She wants to know if he can remain calm, assertive, and dependable when life gets tough. If he crumbles under pressure, she loses trust. If he stands firm, she feels secure, even if she never admits it. Consider a real-life example. A couple faces financial hardship. The wife expresses her fears emotionally, testing whether her husband will panic or take charge. If he reacts with anger or helplessness, the relationship weakens. But if he acknowledges her concerns while calmly providing a plan, she feels reassured. The test wasn't about money. It was about leadership. Machiavelli observed that leaders are constantly tested by circumstances and followers, not out of malice, but because people want to know if authority is real or fragile. In marriage, the same principle applies. A husband who proves resilience in small tests earns trust in bigger ones. A wife who shows patience and loyalty during trials demonstrates the strength of her love. Without these tests, no one truly knows the depth of commitment. From a psychological standpoint, these tests are essential for growth. Challenges force couples to confront weaknesses, adjust expectations, and build stronger habits. Avoiding or resenting the tests only makes the relationship fragile. Embracing them turns them into opportunities for deeper connection. It's also important to recognize that not all tests are intentional. Sometimes a partner's behavior, nagging, silence, or withdrawal, isn't manipulation but fear. Instead of reacting defensively, wise spouses look beyond the surface and address the underlying need, reassurance, respect, or validation. This maturity transforms a test into a moment of bonding. So here's the reflection. When your love is tested, do you see it as a threat or as a chance to prove the strength of your commitment? Share your answer in the comments, because how you handle these tests may determine whether your marriage weakens or grows stronger. Every marriage has a balance of power, even if it's never openly discussed. Who makes the decisions? Who controls the finances? Who sets the emotional tone of the household? These dynamics exist in every relationship, whether acknowledged or not. The hidden truth is that when power becomes unbalanced, when one dominates without respect or the other submits out of fear, marriage turns into a battlefield instead of a partnership. Psychologists explain that relationships are healthiest when power is shared but not identical. Both partners need influence, yet in different areas. A wife may excel in nurturing and emotional decisions, while a husband may lead in direction and protection. When either side tries to control everything, resentment builds. This struggle is rarely admitted out loud, but shows itself in constant arguments, silent resistance, or subtle manipulations. Consider a real-life example. A husband demands full control of finances and belittles his wife's input. Outwardly, she agrees to keep peace, but inwardly, she withdraws respect and begins to rebel in small ways, spending secretly or disengaging emotionally. On the flip side, when a wife controls every detail of the household, dismissing her husband's role, he slowly loses motivation to lead, creating distance and frustration. These are silent power struggles, destroying the relationship from within. Machiavelli noted that power is never static, it is always shifting. Wise rulers maintained authority by balancing firmness with flexibility. In marriage, the same principle applies. If a husband insists on control without compassion, or if a wife pushes for influence without respect, the balance tips dangerously. Lasting attraction and trust come when both partners recognize each other's roles and honor them. From a psychological perspective, unspoken power struggles often stem from insecurity. A man who doesn't feel respected will overcompensate with dominance. A woman who feels unseen may fight for control to protect herself. Unless these insecurities are addressed, the marriage becomes less about love and more about survival. The healthiest marriages are those where power is not hidden or manipulated but consciously balanced. Each partner has influence, each has respect, and both work toward the same goal instead of competing against each other. This doesn't mean equality in every action, but equity in value. So here's the reflection. In your relationships, are you working with your partner or against them in a silent struggle for control? Share your thoughts in the comments, because recognizing these hidden battles is the first step toward restoring balance. Silence in a marriage is rarely just about peace and quiet. Sometimes it's comfort, the kind of silence where two people can sit together without speaking and still feel connected. But often, silence is a signal of distance, resentment, or unresolved tension. The hidden truth is that unspoken words can be louder than arguments, and ignoring them can slowly kill a relationship. Psychologists explain that silence in long-term relationships often falls into two categories: healthy silence and toxic silence. Healthy silence is shared presence without pressure, like sitting together reading or enjoying a walk without words. Toxic silence, however, comes from avoidance, when a partner withdraws emotionally and stops sharing feelings. It's usually because they've given up on being heard or respected. That kind of silence is dangerous because it signals disengagement. Consider a real-life example. A wife constantly nags her husband about small issues. He grows tired of arguing, so he stops responding altogether. Outwardly, it seems peaceful, no more fights. But in reality, his silence is not agreement, it's detachment. Over time, she feels ignored and he feels unseen. What looks like calm is actually the beginning of disconnection. Machiavelli wrote that neglect is one of the easiest ways to lose loyalty. People don't always rebel through loud defiance. Sometimes they drift away quietly, no longer invested. In marriage, this principle is clear. A partner may not shout or complain, but silence can be their way of leaving emotionally long before they leave physically. From a psychological perspective, toxic silence creates emotional starvation. Human beings need expression, validation, and communication. When a partner's silence becomes the norm, the other begins to feel invisible. This leads to loneliness inside the relationship. Arguably worse than loneliness outside of it. The solution isn't constant talking, but intentional communication. Healthy couples know how to break silence with honesty, discussing fears, frustrations, or needs before they harden into resentment. Silence can either be a moment of peace or a wall between hearts. The difference lies in whether issues are avoided or addressed. So here's the reflection. In your marriage, is silence a sign of comfort or a warning of distance? Share your thoughts in the comments, because learning to listen to unspoken signals may save a relationship long before words are lost completely. One of the most painful realities couples face is when desire begins to fade. In the early stages of marriage, passion feels effortless. But as time passes, routines replace novelty and desire can weaken. Many mistake this as a sign that love is gone, but psychology shows us it's a natural process, one that can be reversed if understood. Psychologists highlight the role of familiarity. The human brain craves newness, and when a partner becomes predictable, the spark of excitement fades. This doesn't mean attraction is lost, it means it requires conscious effort to reignite. Desire thrives on curiosity, and when everything feels known, the sense of mystery disappears. Consider a real-life example. A husband and wife fall into the same weekly routine: work, dinner, sleep, repeat. Their conversations become transactional, their intimacy mechanical. Over time, both feel disconnected, but when they travel together, try new activities, or even take on challenges that push them out of routine, they suddenly rediscover each other. The desire wasn't gone, it was buried under monotony. Machiavelli observed that rulers maintained loyalty by keeping people engaged, never letting them fall into complacency. In marriage, the same rule applies. Desire requires deliberate renewal. Surprises, growth, and small doses of unpredictability keep the relationship alive. Without these, passion dies not from lack of love, but from neglect. From a psychological standpoint, desire is also tied to self-image. If a man loses discipline, stops taking care of himself, or abandons ambition, his wife may no longer see him as the confident leader she once admired. Likewise, when a woman neglects her self-respect or no longer invests in her own growth, her husband may feel the spark fading. Desire is not just about the other person. It's about who you continue to become. The key is balance. Too much predictability suffocates attraction, but too much chaos destroys security. Healthy couples learn to create stability while also introducing novelty, new experiences, new conversations, and continuous personal development. These keep the relationship dynamic and the desire alive. So here's the reflection. In your marriage or relationships, are you feeding desire through growth and curiosity, or letting routine quietly kill it? Share your answer in the comments, because keeping desire alive is not about luck, but about choice. Every lasting marriage carries certain truths that people rarely say out loud. They aren't always romantic, and sometimes they even sound uncomfortable. But psychology teaches us that it's these very truths, the ones people avoid admitting, that often hold relationships together when passion fades and challenges arise. One of those truths is that attraction alone cannot sustain a marriage. Shared values, discipline, and mutual respect are stronger foundations than fleeting emotions. A couple who accepts that love is sometimes work, not just feeling, is more likely to last. Many are surprised to discover that stability grows when they stop chasing constant excitement and start building habits of consistency. Consider a real-life example. A husband and wife both feel that passion has cooled. Instead of panicking, they commit to small daily rituals, praying together, sharing meals, or expressing gratitude. These may not sound dramatic, but over time they rebuild intimacy. The secret isn't grand gestures, it's steady investment. Couples who accept this truth thrive, while those chasing permanent fireworks burn out. Machiavelli noted that stability is often built on discipline rather than pleasure. Applied to marriage, this means couples who accept the discipline of loyalty, patience, and compromise create bonds unshaken by temporary dissatisfaction. The uncomfortable part? These qualities aren't glamorous, but they're what preserve love when desire fluctuates. From a psychological perspective, another hidden truth is that a degree of individuality is essential. A husband and wife who completely lose themselves in each other often smother attraction. Couples who maintain personal growth, pursuing their own goals, hobbies, and friendships, bring renewed energy back into the marriage. That balance between togetherness and individuality is one of the secrets women and men rarely acknowledge, but deeply need. It's also true that forgiveness plays a bigger role than most want to admit. Mistakes, disappointments, and flaws are inevitable. What determines survival is the ability to forgive, not once but continuously. Couples who pretend perfection is possible often collapse under unmet expectations. Those who embrace forgiveness endure. So here's the reflection. Are you willing to accept the uncomfortable truths that keep love alive, or are you chasing illusions that eventually fade? Share your perspective in the comments, because admitting these secrets may be the key to a relationship that truly lasts. Marriage is not destroyed by lack of love. It is destroyed by lack of awareness. The truths we've uncovered in this video may feel uncomfortable, even unsettling, but ignoring them is far more dangerous. Attraction, power, silence, and desire are forces always at play, whether you acknowledge them or not. Those who see them clearly can protect and strengthen their bond. Those who deny them often watch their relationship collapse quietly. The real lesson is simple. Lasting love requires honesty, discipline, and continuous effort. Passion may fade, but respect, growth, and shared purpose can reignite it. Don't fear these truths, embrace them. Because the couples who accept reality instead of chasing illusions are the ones who endure. If this message spoke to you, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And to prove you stayed until the very end, write seductive wisdom below. That way, I'll know you're part of the few willing to face the truths most people avoid.